Okay, before we get started, let's just do some practice drawings on scratch paper first, before we go into our paper. One of the things we're going to be drawing is a light switch on the wall. So, now watch your eyes. Whoa, see how bright that is? All right, so on a light switch, if I go, this would be down, off, and I'll turn it up, okay, oops, and that's on. This is off, that's on. This will be positive, and this will be negative. All right, so let's just practice. There's different ways of drawing. I know it's just a light switch, but there's different ways of drawing it. So you could, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do this like for the wall, and I'll do this for the switch itself, the switch part. The reason why I'm making it large like this, now you don't have to do it this way. Here's some examples. You could do it this way. You could just do this. Okay, that's fine. Or you could make it like a rectangle and then like that. That's okay. The reason why I say a rectangle is because we're going to go ahead and put down if this is positive or negative. And in this case, if it's up like this, that would be positive. If it was going down, I'd put negative. So that's why I'm going to use rectangles for the wall part. For this part here, for the wall. Okay, so that's going to be how I'm going to make light switch. You can make it any way you like to. Okay, then there's a light bulb, and this light bulb here is kind of shaped a little differently. This is ones that you would see like in a bathroom area. All right, so I'm going to make my light bulbs kind of like this shape. And so to do that, you're just going to make kind of like a U in essence. The lines, excuse me, you can't even see that, can you? Let me zoom in. Okay, kind of like this, and then round. Okay, that's how I'm going to go ahead and make mine. Something like this. You can make it any way you'd like to, that's fine. This is the way I'm going to do it. And then if it's on, it'd be positive, and it'd be like that. And then if it is off, I'm just going to use different colors so you can see it better. Again, just kind of make a U. And then just make a bubble. And let's say that this is negative, off. Okay, on, off. So those are the ways that is how I'm going to be doing my light switches and light bulbs. That's how I'm going to draw them. You can draw them any way you like to. I'm just giving you some ideas. And we're going to title this paper Integer Art, because we are dealing with integers here. Integer Art. So let's start off with the rules of multiplying. Multiplying and dividing, actually. And it's going to take just a little less than half a paper. You can make it as big as you like. But again, I'm going to use my rectangles, and I'm going to go like, because I'm going to be multiplying. Something like this, right? Now I'm going to do this 4 times. 4 times. And just so you know, I'm going to be putting in here positive and a positive. Okay, so I'm making them like this so I can put letters in there, positive and negative. So that's what I'm doing right now. And you can just do that on your paper. Hopefully you're doing a little neater than I am. Remember, this is our switches. I don't know why I'm getting larger at these things. I don't know. Okay. Anyways. And I'm going to say equals. Now I'm going to just use a little different color. You don't have to. But I'm going to make this one positive and this one positive, and then I'll make this negative. Okay, so see if this makes sense to you. Have a positive times a positive, positive times a negative, negative times a positive, negative times a negative. All right, now I need to put my little switches on there, which I did not do yet. So I guess I'll make them 3D. Positive's going up. And then negative is going down. If you make a mistake, no big deal, just scratch it off. You can plainly see I'm not a expert at art here or neatness either. Okay, so something like that. So here's what I have. Try not to laugh too hard. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and draw some light bulbs over to the side. So when drawing light bulbs, just go ahead and kind of make a U. Lines in there for the grooves. And then kind of a bubble. That's how I'm doing it. You can do it different ways. And of course, they're all going to look, mine are all going to look different. These almost look a little bit like mushrooms. Probably should have practiced a lot more first. Okay. So I have my light bulbs in there. And what I forgot to do is put little wires between the two. So I'll do that right now. Well, first of all, let's just do this. So if I have a positive and a positive, for as far as the light switch goes, like in a hallway, for example, if I have two light switches in a hallway, and they're both on, this will be on. This light would be on in a hallway. Okay? Now, what if one's up and one's down? Then it would not be on. All right? Well, what if one's off and one's on? Again, it would not be on. Excuse me, forgot about that. Sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. But what happens if they're both down? Then it would be on. So you can try this in your hallway. And you know what we forgot to do is we forgot to connect like little wires in here. So let me just kind of do that. I'm going to connect little wires to them. So just from here, a little squiggly line to the light. So that's something that, so these are the rules of integers when you're multiplying. Think of light switches. Light switches in a hallway. And you can try this out in your hallway. If you have a hallway, you can also try this out. If you have two switches going to the same light, try it out. And it may be backwards. It may be the opposite of what we have here. But for our purposes, this is what it does. So again, whenever we multiply, think of two light switches turning on a light. Okay, let's just do one example to the side. So we're going to have to use the distributive property. And so remember, you take the outside times each one inside. So we're going to take this number times this one, and then times this. All right, now, before we start that, this is a positive, right? This -3 right here, that's a negative. And this is a positive, this +1. So keep that in mind as you're multiplying. So let's see here. 2 times 3 is 6. And positive times a negative, right? Like the light switches, it's negative. One negative and it's negative. The next one, 2 times 1 is 2. And they're both positive. Think of the light switches. And that's all you can do, because these are not like terms. Okay, so before, remember, we practiced drawing light switches and light bulbs. And okay, the next we're going to do is draw tongues. I know, it's a little crazy. And tongues can be very simple or elaborate. They could be something like that. Okay, there's a tongue. Just that simple. You don't need to put a line down the middle, whatever. But you can just make it just like kind of like a U, and that would be a tongue. And the reason why is because we want to think about putting mints on our tongue, making it nice and cold. Or you can think of putting some hot sauce on there. Not hot sauce, but I didn't have any hot candy. But you think of hot sauce. My son likes hot sauce, so something like this. So you have something cool, and then you have something hot. And you're going to be putting those on your tongue. Okay, I took up like half my page. I'm just going to do this. And what we're talking about now is like terms. We talked about multiplying. Now it's like adding and subtracting. But I'm just going to use the word like terms. Like terms. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. When we're doing our drawings, and that's this. That if you want to, you can put, for negative, you can have a minus there. You just zoom in a little bit. Or you could just have it, like negative. For a positive, you could put a plus, or you could put the letter P. Either one's okay. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever one helps you remember. Okay, and I'm going to use just the letter N, I think, for negative. So if I have a negative, all right, and that negative is going to be like the mint flavor. Cool, right? So this is cold. And then, and I'm going to say and because I don't want you to think of plus. And we have our positives. And you can think of those as being hot. or rather, spicy, cinnamon, kind of like that. Okay, so these are flavors. Hot and cold. Hot and cold. Mint, spicy. Think of temperature. Negative temperature, positive temperature. Okay, but if I combine those together, this and this, what's that going to equal? It's going to equal no taste. All right? It's going to equal 0. And 0 is just basically no taste. No taste. Sometimes my wife says that about me. No taste. Anyways. Okay, so a negative and a positive make 0. Basically, they cancel each other out. They call these 0 pairs. 0 pairs. Okay, so let's do a couple of problems, and we're going to be taking these and putting them on our tongues. Well, not our tongues, but a drawing of a tongue. All right, so let's start off with an example here. So if I have negative 3x plus 4x. Negative 3x plus 4x. Now I'm going to just draw a tongue to the side here. And so I'm just going to make it like a U. Nothing fancy, just a U. Like this. All right, it could be larger. You may want to make it larger. A wide tongue, so to speak. All right, so you have 3 negatives right here. 3 negatives. So that would be hot, wouldn't it? 3 spicy things. So I'm going to go ahead and put N for negative. There's 3 of them. And that's on your tongue. 3 spicy cinnamon candy on your tongue. Then we have 4 mints. Wait, do I have this backwards? I do have this backwards. These are not spicy. These are cool. Aren't they? These are nice and cool, not spicy. What's wrong with it? Why did I use red? Okay, well, okay. I just won't put any editing on there. So this should be, I'm going to cover it up. It should be spicy, not hot. I don't even know my flavors. Okay, there we go. This is spicy. This is not spicy. This is cool mint. Cool mint. Jeez. Cool mint. And I should probably edit this out, but I'm not gonna. And then this is spicy hot, 4x. 4x is spicy hot. So I will put 4 positives on there. And you could put just a plus in there instead. Okay, so look at your tongue. Well, I know it's not your tongue, it's someone's tongue, but that tongue right there, notice how there's more positive, right? There's more spicy. It's definitely going to be hot. These are going to cancel each other off, right? These cancel each other. And you are with spicy. How much spicy is it? By 1. And so that is why your answer is just 1x. That is the answer, 1x. Or just x. You don't need a 1, actually, do you? All right, so that is the answer. Sorry, I got confused. I was getting mixed up. I was thinking red is negative because of the business. Businesses, you know, we have, they say you're in the black or you're in the red. Red means negative. Black means positive in the business world. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Hopefully I can get this right. Okay, we have negative 3 and negative 2. Negative 3 minus 2. Remember, negative 3 minus 2 is the same as negative 3 and negative 2. All right, so I'm going to just draw a tongue here. Kind of a wide tongue. And so there's 3 negatives, right? And negative is cool, mint. Let me get that right now. Negative is negative temperature, cool, mint. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. So there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. 3 mints. All right, so that's nice and cool. But then also notice -2 is the same as -2. It's the same thing. So I have another 2 on there. -3 and -2. Notice they don't cancel. You just have a bunch of mint. How much mint? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So it is -5. So 3 mints and 2 mints makes 5 mints. Very cold, very minty. Okay, one more like this. And it doesn't matter if there's an accent with it or not. It doesn't matter. They're still integers. So let's see, I have -5 and 3. So I'll draw my tongue, draw a tongue, it's not my tongue. A tongue. There's 5 negatives on there. That's mints. That's nice and cool. And then there's 3 hot. So now, what temperature is your tongue at this point? 5 cold, 3 hot. Right? Hopefully you can see that if you cancel some of these off, right? Because they cancel each other off, like these 2, these 2, these 2. And what are you left with? You're left with -2. Right? So it is going to be minty cool. It still will be minty cool. But not as cool as it would be if you did not have the hot in there. All right. So hopefully this is an illustration to kind of help you picture in your mind when to use, what rules to use, and when. So when we're multiplying, you think of the light switches. When we are just adding, subtracting, like terms, that's when you go ahead and think of temperature on your tongue. Cold and hot.